am going live talking about Death with the Dominion, and really that's some of the other stuff that I'm really doing right now. I am here. My dad is right here, but he is not going to be joining live because he's about to go to bed here in a few minutes. So if you want to, Dad, you can go ahead and say hi.
But I'm not high.
Okay, so I have my computer in front of me just in case, people join the live and, type in some stuff, say hello and all that other stuff. And my camera is crooked. I need to fix that. Let's see if... Alright, that fixed it. So, I'm looking at the screen. The actions are a bit delayed, so yeah.
It's okay, you're a little slow anyway.
Okay, Dad, okay. Okay, in case any of y'all can't hear, my dad, because I'm on this headset, he said, it's okay, you're a little slow anyway, so it really is. Did I really say it really is?
I think so.
It doesn't really matter. It's weird seeing my face right now on camera while I'm doing this live.
Yeah, well, on your phone, it's in real time.
Yeah, it's weird, right? Because if you look at the screen, right here, it shows like the movements are a whole lot more delayed.
Well, like I said, on your phone, it's in real time.
Right. So I'm going to be...
your computer's slow too.
Anyone who joins the chat and can hear my dad, please tell me if y'all can hear him. My cat's right here. My kitty. So as per mentioned, I'm going to be talking about Death with the Dominion and all the characters that you see right here. We have Ultima, Rodan, perched up on Ultima's shoulder. We have Shin. We have Leo Goji, also known as 1954. We have Junior and Caligon impaled on his brother's spine, and then their dad, Dagon. So, what really is there to start with on D.W.D? So, I guess what I can start with right now would be the characters, then go down, like, timeline of events, or I could go to their abilities and like the whole entire world building, and then I can go down the timeline. What do you think, Dad?
Sure, why not?
So, yeah, I guess that's what I'm going to do. So, over here, I also have my character from my other series that I'm planning on working on, which is Godzilla, God Incarnate, and then I also have this that my dad got me for a very, very late birthday present, which is my Godzilla 70th anniversary mug. Wait, is it? Yeah, 70th.
It's sad when you gotta read it.
Oh, okay. So, yeah. If y'all want to buy this, just go on Facebook Marketplace or just go on Amazon if they're still in stock, which I don't know if they are.
No, it was on a special page on Facebook.
Right. So yeah, we have D.W.D. Godzilla. Well, we have the D.W.D. Godzilla crew, and then we have the G.G.O.W. No, not O.W. D. Or Gojira, God Incarnate. Except that would be GGI, wouldn't it?
I guess so, yeah.
I was thinking about the other I was thinking about the other title I was thinking of giving it, because originally it was going to be Godzilla, God of Destruction, but then God Incarnate sounded a whole lot better. So, you can see which one stuck.
Obviously.
But yeah, this is my favorite design, so anyone who wants to see him, just take a look at him. But
please look at him. He's been through hell.
Hmm.
Literally.
Practically. So that's enough about Godzilla God Incarnate. Let's go ahead and talk about these characters and their story, abilities, yada yada yada, all that good stuff. So, yeah. So, real quick before I get started, I'm going to put a simple hello in the chat. Actually, wait, hang on. I could probably do this on my actual channel. I don't know if that would do anything to the live. Or would it? Oh, it doesn't. That's nice. All right, there we go. So I have a simple hello to everyone who joins. Fix that. So let's go ahead and get started with these characters. Sorry about that, guys. Okay, so I'm going to go from youngest to oldest. So let's go ahead and start with the main man's son, Junior. What's up? Ooh.
See that number, right?
15.
That number.
Wow. That's something right there. I'm gonna turn up the volume on the computer to see if anyone can hear you real quick, Dad. Okay, go ahead and say something.
Something.
Okay, go ahead and say something. Okay, so they can't hear you.
And it is very much delayed.
Well, very much so. And my cat just came in here to eat. Nice. So they may or may not be in the shot. And they are not. Okay, that's good. So Junior, well, I'm going to go ahead and discuss a little bit about his design. So let me just place him in front of everybody so that way y'all can see him. He's looking dead at the camera, or is he? Okay, he is. So with his design, as you can see, I went for a little bit more of the -1 dorsal plates. I cannot speak. He has a long tail, I'd say about relative to his height, or is it double his height? I'd say it's more or less like doubled his height, but yeah. His dorsal plates climb up in a little bit of a triangle, but it's instead of being even, it's more or less to the side. If y'all get what I mean. So he also has numerous scars. Like his dorsal plate right here is thicker than the rest because he has a scar on his chest right there, as y'all can see. And he also has a scar on the side of his arm where Gigan, no, not, it wasn't Gigan, it was Megalon, had stabbed him. As for abilities, he has the Atomic Breath, he has Tail Swipe, by everything that regular Godzilla has. He has a healing factor and a little bit of a regeneration factor. Although he can only regenerate his dorsal plates, sad, but it's better than nothing. So, yeah, we'll keep it like that. Moving on, we have his, well, brother. Well, not his brother, his uncle, who is impaled on Legendary's spinal cord. This is Ancalagon, and recently he just had a power up and then powered down where he went thermonuclear and then went to his base form where this big guy, Ultima, had slammed him down on the spinal cord of Legendary. Which, shout out to my friend Wendigo, the Morningstar Dragon, or as y'all know him as Legendary Space Godzilla 20,004, for always being in clutch with Ultima's voice. Amazing work he does for Ultima. Now, as for abilities, he has Nuclear Pulse, same as, well, basically same abilities as his nephew. But he is more durable, being able to take on multiple harpoons to the leg, back, and tail, and I think the shoulder too. So going from him, we have Rodan, and Rodan is actually younger than Dagon, believe it or not. So Rodan really doesn't serve a purpose. He has, the barrel roll. He does not have his beam attack that he had in the Heisei era. Although that would be cool, I don't think I could pull that off. So besides that, he looks like how he did in King of the Monsters, but he is a bit different. Mostly, he is a bit different because he is a different color, because I do not have red clay to work with, and he tends to, well, look weird. I'll put it like that. So, yeah. Other than that, he's basically just a comic relief. Next we have Dagon, also known as Kiryu in this version. So Kiryu is, well, an old kaiju that we all know from Godzilla against Mechagodzilla and Tokyo SOS. But my version of Kiryu goes a little bit like this. He is the skeleton of Dagon, and I'm not the only one to do that. Slick Animations did that as well. By the way, Slick, if you end up watching this, you did good with that. I will admit, you did very good with your portrayal of Dagon as Kiryu. And actually kind of inspired me to do that, so thank you. So, as for abilities, Dagon has missile launchers, knives in his arms. He does not have his shoulder rockets that can help him fly, but he does have foot propulsion rockets, and he also has a chest beam. He has his mouth beam, which are the, I forgot what they're called. Someone in the chat that has watched the Millennium era Mechagodzilla or Kiryu movies, where it's Tokyo SOS and against Mechagodzilla, please let me know what the names of those attacks are. I would very much so appreciate it. But other than that, yeah. So then we have his dad, Leo Goji, also known as 1954. So as you can see, 1954 has a very nasty burn. And if you look at him, he also has the ridges of the SOS Goji on his neck. And there's a actual lore explanation for that I will give y'all that here in a few minutes. So, as for his abilities, he has the incandescent light and regular atomic breath. He also has the tail swipe, also has his claws pulse, same old thing. Other than that, his design is actually relatively cool. I modeled him after the SOS Goji, and I also modeled him off of 1954, and I also took a little bit of body horror as to give him his scars that y'all see right there. So, going on from him, let's get to his brother, Shin, or Kamakura-san, as a lot of people know him as. I decided I was going to mix the original design for Shin Godzilla with the 1954 Goji, and it turned out very well, as y'all can see. Also, his tail was cut off. All of y'all that know have seen the episode. All of y'all know, which if y'all have seen that episode, put a RIP tail in the comments in the chat. So hashtag RIP tail. As for abilities, he has the atomic breath. He has basically everything else, but he also shoots photons out of his dorsal plates, like how the actual Shin did. In universe explanation coming up soon whenever I do the universe breakdown. He also has the ability to transform into a form kind of like how his great nephew does. Ooh. So other than that, he's He is 200 meters tall. Next up, we have the big boy himself, Ultima. Good thing the video didn't glitch out like the last one. So let's move this big boy right here, and that just shook the entire table. Good God, he's heavy. So Ultima is one of my most favorite characters, not only because he isn't a character that I voice, he has a unique character to him. Such as whenever my friend Wendigo or Legendary Space Godzilla voices him, he does like a version of Carnage whenever he does it, because in his words, he put it as, this is his inner self. Really isn't like that. Trust me. Alright, chat. I'm looking at the settings. I did not mess with any of them. Oh, there's no description. And it shows I am watching, so... Okay. So, besides that, Ultima is by far one of the strongest characters, like I said in that one video. Being able to travel between dimensions, and he can also use the red mist. He has a very potent atomic breath and a very strong healing factor, being able to regenerate even. As we saw, he regenerated his arm from pure nothingness, and I actually explained this to one of my friends. When he regenerates, it's his skin forming back together and bubbling up. And in some cases, whenever he has to regenerate whole limbs, it makes an imperfection. Sort of like how he has a pinky right here. Instead of having 3 fingers, well, instead of having 4 fingers, he now has 5. And overall, he's a very beefy kaiju. He is a total of 300 meters tall, about 100 meters taller than his brother, and 200 meters taller than his other brother, as you can see with the size comparison right there. It's actually very interesting how I was able to do that. I started with, whenever I redesign these characters, I start with making the biggest one first, then I go to the second biggest and third biggest, and then so on and so forth. So, yeah, I'm going to place Ultima right here. I'm going to place... Actually, no, I'm going to keep it like this, so y'all can see the size difference between the characters. So, yeah. And then I'm going to have Gigan Then I Rodan right here. Everyone just roast me in the comments for calling Rodan Gigan, please. So, going on from that, let's go ahead and talk about the world building. So, the world that we have is taking place in the Monsterverse a couple years after a lot of the other stuff that had happened with Godzilla and Kong, Shimo, and all that other stuff. And as you can see, I have mixed other universes such as some of the Showa mixed with the Millennium, Shin Godzilla, and the anime universe, which I am not doing Godzilla Earth. I am not doing that, no. So, going from that, let's go ahead and talk about the biggest Godzilla there is in the entire world of Death with the Dominion. The Dark One. I have never talked about him outside of whenever I showed his skull, which if I were to make his skull right now, it would be about as big as, well, a wallet. So, going on from that, the Dark One lived for about, I'd say, 1,000, well, more than 1,000 years until he died and became the Mountain of Krakatoa, which erupted, and then the kaijus of Godzilla, of the Godzilla species, were born. And so were the other kaiju. So he is the father of all kaijus. Kind of like in the lore of Legendary Space Godzilla 2004, how he has Thalgron, I have the Dark One. So, going on from that, the Dark One was also one of the strongest kaijus, being able to, well, tank any attack, not only because of his sheer size, but because he was the original kaiju and could not die until it was his time. Which, I know that doesn't make any sense, contradicts itself, but if you think about it, if you have a planned time to die, then that is when you will die. You may come close to death in some cases, but you have a planned time to die. And for the Dark One, he didn't die until it was his time. So going on from that, there were two siblings that were born. Gojira, not that one, and Ravlagon. Now, before y'all come at me in the comments later on, those of y'all that are Gojira 2001 fans, trust me, I am one too. Before y'all come at me and say, the Goji, Ravlagon belongs to them. I understand that, but I also wanted to come up with my own spin on that name and character. That, and I really don't know if I could come up with a better name than that. So, Gojira 2001, if you get mad at me, please let me know, and I will change the name of the character whenever I introduce them. But whenever I introduce them, they are going to be a powerhouse of destruction, and they are going to be the biggest menace besides this guy. And he's only going to be 100 meters tall. And he's only coming into the picture to fight his nephews and grandnephews. Now, going on from him, he did not have any children, from what I can tell y'all. But his brother did have children. Those being his eldest son, Shin, second eldest, Leo Goji, also known as 1954, and Ultima, being the youngest. Now, Going from that, we have what happened in 54, which actually before that, in 1947, Operation Crossroads, Gojira's wife, who I have dubbed as Sky, or yeah, I think we'll have them as Sky Goji. Those that know, come at me in the comments. I'm okay with that. Sky Goji is one of the kaijus in Gojira 2001's old series, Love Beyond Space. But I decided I was going to use them for this, mostly because I needed a kaiju and I really couldn't, come up with a name on my own. Forgive me. Also, if y'all want me to be more grounded whenever I speak of anything like this, let me know. I will get grounded and just speak more, like an actual person instead of, having a little bit of the persona that I have whenever I'm on camera. I understand if it's a bit much. I really need to work on my speech. I understand if it's a bit much having someone act like a cartoon character sometimes or having an on-screen persona, but I do this just to make things entertaining. So, yeah, those of y'all that want a more serious, grounded 2008, I will be a serious, grounded 2008. Warning, my brother will come in at any time and make some random noise.
And eat cat food.
And we'll eat cat food. Cat
food.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
eating
yeah.
cat food. Oh, cat food. Oh, cat food.
Cat kibble.
Oh, it smells like liver.
Like I said, if y'all want a more grounded Goji 2008, I will be a more grounded 2008. But other than that, yeah, this is what y'all are gonna get.
Oh, damn, I meant to hit the actual guy.
Wait.
Oops.
No, keep doing good.
Okay.
Right. So
Ooh, ew.
Oh, his chair came unplugged and we thought it was a breaker.
Okay.
Thought it was a GFI or a breaker on the outside.
Okay. Well, I'm glad it was just that.
Yeah. I had a good visit. We talked for about 35, 45 minutes.
Good.
Great talk.
Good.
right. So going off of what I was saying earlier, Shin is the oldest, Leo is the middle child, and Ultima is the youngest. Now, Sky Goji ended up dying because of Operation Crossroads. Meanwhile, her eldest and, well, youngest at the time, and her husband survived being able to live with the effects of the nuke. But then whenever her actual youngest son was hatched, that being Ultima, he was not able to withstand the power of a nuclear bomb, which ended up killing him in 1954 whenever he took the blow of a bomb and his brother was kept underneath a pile of buildings.
Oh, yeah?
38, what you already had. I didn't know he kept there, but next to his chair.
Yeah.
38 and a 25.
So
Okay, I didn't know about the 25.
Yeah.
besides that, Leo would be blamed with the death of their brother, would have his arm broken and his eye gouged out by his brother, and then would suffer a very bad burn on his face from his dad. Yeah, let that sink in. So after that, 1954 or Gojira would die, not him, and they would go their separate ways. And that would be the original timeline of the 1954 Gojira movie that came out November 3rd, 1954. So then after that, Shin would go his alternate way, and Leo would go on to have a son, Dagon, and Dagon would have a son named Legendary. Now, sometime around that time, um, Leo would go and fight his dad, who was reborn through the bones of the original 1954 Godzilla, in Kiryu, and would fight him twice. And after that, he would break free from his father's control, or the Kiryu's control, and would end up going and fighting Anguirus, killing him, and then getting trapped in the Arctic. So meanwhile with Dagon, he would end up dead, while his son found his corpse and went to go tell his younger brother that his father had died. Legendary would then go to sleep in the cave that he called home, and then would wake up in 2014 to take care of the Mutos. After that, Aftershock would happen. He would get revenge for his dad's death at the hands of the Muto Prime. And then after that, he would go on into King of the Monsters, and he would fight Ghidorah, which, fun fact, Ghidorah and Gojira were next door neighbors. They were both trapped in the Arctic, and my cats are here. Hi, Felix. Felix says hello to y'all. And now he shows his eyes to the camera. Dad, look at the camera. Like, he's trying his hardest not to show himself on the camera, but, like, it's not helping you there, big buddy. You're a bit too oversized. I'm not fat shaming my cat, guys, I promise. But he's a pretty big cat. But anyway, so afterwards, Legendary would find his grandfather, tell him, hey, I need to take care of some stuff. And then after that, Godzilla versus King Kong would happen, and then Godzilla X Kong the New Empire. And then Legendary would put on a few more pounds, and humanity would start chasing him off, other stuff like that, try shooting him with harpoons, all this other stuff. And Legendary's grandfather would finally catch up with the family, see them, how they've been doing, and Legendary would get bitten by a skull crawler that had a very potent venom. So, after that, the events of Season 1 happen, where they're going to go find Shin. And Felix is just... You're a bit too big there, buddy. Anyway, so Legendary would go on to find his son, fight Gigan, and other stuff of that nature. Oh no, my cat's balls are on the camera. Oh no. Yeah. I don't know why I'm laughing. So Legendary would end up... I can't even keep a solid thought right now. Felix. Well then. So Legendary would find his son after beating the brakes off... No, it wasn't Legendary. It was Leo that beat the brakes off of Gigan. And then his grandson, fell on Gigan. Good God, I can't speak. Then he'd go on to kill a giant skull crawler that was about the same size as him. They would end up finding Shin, making up for lost time, and then Legendary would try to get healed when all of a sudden Ultima, possessing Shin's youngest brother, tried killing his son. Enraged, he went to go fight him, ended up getting bit on the leg a little bit too hard, and he fell down. Then Legendary gets hit with an atomic breath. He starts melting down, just like he did back in Godzilla against, Godzilla versus Destroya, which came out in 1995. Good movie. I need to watch it myself, and then I'll give you all my reviews on those movies. I might do a breakdown on some Godzilla movies. If y'all want that, please let me know, and I will end up doing a breakdown of some Godzilla movies, my opinions on them, and other stuff like that. So I will put a poll on my YouTube of if I should or should not do a breakdown of Godzilla movies. So Season 2 premieres the birth of Junior into the new Godzilla, which in my series, Godzilla is a status of king. So you are now a king if you are a Godzilla, which I know that doesn't make any sense. Gojiras are the species, or Gojirans, or Gojirasauruses, or Godzillasaurus, or whatever they're called. Come up with a name for them in the comments if y'all want to. That's up to y'all. So Junior would end up training with his grandfather and, well, great grandfather. Could you tilt the camera a little bit, Dad? Thank you. So he would end up training with his grandfather, and that would be that. Not only would he train with his grandfather, but he'd also, learn some stuff from his great uncle Shin. And Caligon ends up getting a Death Kaiju form, which basically just think of it as Super Saiyan. Yes, there is a Godzilla super form. I'm not going to get into that because I haven't decided what it's going to be like. So after that, we also have Rodan coming back as Mecha Rodan, and then through the magic that Shin has learned, he goes ahead and heals him into his original form and makes him into a bigger kaiju. Something that can contend with other kaiju such as Gigan, Megalon, etc. Speaking of which, they go on to fight Kiryu. Not the Kiryu that Leo fought, the Kiryu made out of the bones of Dagon, which they have retrieved and meshed together with the mind of the Dark One and used for their own purposes. So, they would end up shutting down the mech and sending it to the bottom of the Pacific Ocean, where the resting place of every Godzilla there is lays. So after that, Leo and Shin have a little bit of a, talk. You see, they talk about what happened that day in 54, where Shin had broke his brother's arm and also ended up, goring out his eye, and said that he said, I shouldn't have done that. And they speak Japanese, which I did that mostly to make it a little bit more emotional. Not that Japanese is an emotional language, but it makes them feel more real. Like this was someone they were before this. Like there's someone, like let's say there's a past version of yourself that you are thankful for not being anymore. It's the same thing for them. So after that, they learned that their great nephew and great grandson were actually awake, and they, kind of eavesdropped, and they had a conversation about what happened with Ultima and all this other stuff. So going on from that, Megalon and Gigan appear, and they fight and almost kill Shin, but at the last minute, and Caligon gains his form. that being his death kaiju form. So after that, he fights Megalon, and then proceeds to fight Gigan and pins him down on the ground. Then Megalon decides that he's not going to help Gigan. What a jackass! And then proceeds to.
I don't know yet.
Thinking things will really work.
I don't know. I'm gonna see if I can do something. And
I'm gonna think it'll break in there.
I hope not.
I'm gonna tell you right now, dude, that motherfucker's in there tight. I couldn't believe you kept tightening on the way you were doing without backing it off, realizing that something was not right. I don't think you fucked it up. I think it already fucked it up. It was that tight coming out,
It was.
but you'll be able to re-thread it. But if you can't get that thing out,
I'm gonna see if I can get it out with some, either some vice grips or a small fiber.
you must have pipe wrench.
Yeah.
But even then, you gotta be careful.
Well, that's what I mean, like a small one like that.
Twist that motherfucker straight off,
Yeah.
like Tony's head. What I'm gonna do. Who you talking to?
Oh, no one, just doing a live.
Okay. Well, I'm on it now. Merry birthdays. Have cat food. Have cat
Ah,
food.
Bo,
Enjoy the
no.
video.
No,
We're having a good
Bo,
video.
no.
We're just
Bo, no.
have fun.
Bo, no.
Okay, I'll quit.
No, you.
Okay.
And you just tilted the camera on.
Say ah.
No.
Okay. Sorry I ruined the video. I'm a total dickhead.
Get something delayed time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird, isn't
What
it?
the fuck's going on here?
It's weird, right?
One of those fucked up Japanese movies.
Whoa, whoa, Bo. If you want to watch live, you can watch it on YouTube, Bo. My channel's at Goji2008. And you can comment on it. And I'll. Bo, Bo, stop. Bo, please.
Didn't know you were fucking asleep.
Yeah. So, anyways, so as I was saying earlier, Megalon decides he's going to ditch Gigan like a total jackass, and goes to fight Junior. And Junior is beating his ass up until Megalon stabs him in the shoulder. Quite literally. Then his great-grandfather decides, hell nah. Grabs Megalon, picks him up in the air, and throws him about 300 feet or 300 meters away from his nephew. So after that, Megalon gets killed by Shin by getting a atomic breath to the chest, which was actually kind of funny to see. After that, we also have Gigan joining the team and, discussing some stuff about how the death form works, or no. So how the form works is you have to be angry, kind of like a state of Super Saiyan. And that's how it works. So They find that out, and then later on they go train and other stuff like that. It shows, how the training is progressing and all this other stuff. And then after that, we have, a training montage between, well, a training moment between Shin, Leo, and Junior, where they're all having fun. So then after that, we have episode 10 of season 2, where they're preparing to finally train to fight Ultima. Everyone's there, everyone's getting ready, and then Gigan gets an arm through the chest. Hope I'm not being too loud. Everyone looks and see it was Ultima. Ultima goes ahead and gets pretty much his entire face exploded by Gigan. And then he regenerates and says to everyone, guess who's back? Back again. Shady's back. Tell a friend. I'm not doing the entire song. Mostly because I don't know the song. So after that, season 3 begins with everyone in awe that Ultima is there. Everyone is a little bit scared, except for Junior, who dives face first only to get his leg broken. Then his uncle goes to protect him, only to get his arm blown off. And then the episode ends with the two brothers about to face their younger brother. Which then the next episode, they're getting absolutely mollywopped, and then the tail gets ripped off. Which, everyone, come up with a name for the tail for me in the comments, so that way I can stop calling him the tail. It could be something interesting, like how the left head of Ghidorah was Kevin, which is my favorite, which is the funniest thing ever. It was Ichi, me, and then San, but then his name was Kevin. I love that. So, after that, okay, I'm good. Thought I had to sneeze. So, after that, Shin goes into his death form and then proceeds to beat his little brother's ass and then rips off his arm. Then his great nephew, or great grandnephew to those that, want to be more technical, fires an atomic breath that forms into a nuclear bomb. After that, the smoke settles and Ultima is still alive. How strong is this guy? He picks up his brother by the neck and is about to kill him. Everyone is in awe, but then 1954 comes in with the clutch and shoots an atomic breath into his back and says this is where the fight begins. Episode 3 is a flashback to what happened to the brothers, what separated all of them. After that, after we see what happened, which is everyone was given a task. They were going to go to Osaka and destroy the city. And Shin was supposed to watch over them, but instead, he went to go make sure no one was taking over their domain in Tokyo, which was something he wasn't told to do, but decided he was going to do in the other hand, leaving his brother to watch his other brother all on his own. And they went to go destroy the city, and they were having a good time. And then the U.S. drops a bomb on them, that being Castle Bravo. And, well, instead of older brother taking the bomb, the younger brother pushed him out of the way and ended up taking the bomb for them and ended up dead. Shin, finding out this happened, enraged, shoots down the plane, then scolds his brother and proceeds to punish him by gouging out his eye and breaking his arm. And tells him, the next time this happens, I'll have your head. Now let's go tell father about this mess you made. Which they do, and then their father proceeds to fire the incandescent light into his face. That's gotta hurt, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's the end of the flashback, and then we get into episode 4, which I just released, which I am glad to say I had to repost it. mostly because I forgot the title card. I know, a single tear comes down my face. So, besides that, we go on to this episode, and 1954 is just getting mollywopped. Like, oh my god, this man got slapped. Like, this man got slapped by the hand of a pimp. It was sad. But after that, his brother goes in to help him, and Caligon goes to see if he needs any help, and then he goes to help Shin by firing an atomic breath into Ultima's face, which also left a scar on Shin, as you can see right there. Now, as for those burn marks, I'll get to those later. So he goes to help him, and then Junior is trying to threaten Ultima, and it really isn't working. So Junior is given the idea by his uncle to shoot an atomic breath into his dorsal plates to power him up into the burning form, which he uses the atomic breath, a nuclear pulse, and then a nuclear explosion atomic breath to finally kill him. Psych, I lied. This man grabs him with his jaws and throws him on the corpse of Legendary, and then walks up to him and proceeds to say, and I quote, "I didn't come here to hear you whimper," pushes him down further onto the spine of Legendary, and says, "I came here to hear you scream." And all hope seems lost. It looks like they're about to lose another person. Until Dagon comes in and shoots Singular Point in the back with missiles. Well, I don't know what kind of missiles they'd be. Probably ballistic missiles, since they cause that much damage by knocking off his dorsal plates. Well, what do you think, Dan?
Maybe.
So, after that, Ultima turns around, sees who did it, laughs, and says, "I see they put you in iron lungs, nephew. How have you been?" And then he proceeds to say one of the best lines I've ever did for a character. "I'll be a whole lot better as soon as I finish my objective of killing you for killing my son and trying to kill my grandson." Then Ultima leaves off saying, "Looks like we have some catching up to do," which is my favorite line so far. I can't wait to work on episode 5, where you're going to see a whole out brawl between nephew and uncle. One who is about, I'd say, 80 meters tall, and the other one 300 meters tall. That's a very noticeable size difference. What would you say, Dad?
Quite a bit.
One's geared to the teeth, literally, with tricks up their sleeve, and the other one has modern military weapons. So, in all, I don't know who's going to win. Is it going to be the mechanized machine, or is it going to be the demon that rose from hell? Who knows? Put your bets in the comment section. So, now it's time to get into the world. Well, the abilities of this. So they are able to use a form of magic due to the malevolent beings of Mothra and the and Ghidorah and Batra. One represents light and balance, the other one represents chaos and darkness, and the other one is Earth itself. I know it doesn't make any sense. Bear with me. I'm still figuring it out. I'm still trying to bend it together. Now, this also has some elements of, spiritual stuff, such as Ultima possessing his great-nephew, his great-grandnephew of Leo. Not this Leo. There was another Leo a long time ago in the original series, Season 1, known as Leo, and he looked a lot like Shinagawa-kun mixed with Legendary and a little bit of Ultima's third form. Which is why he turned into Ultima. Because of the evil in his heart, because he was, kind of the runt and, wanted to be king instead of, I know it doesn't show that, he was a bit crazy sometimes, but whenever he snapped at his grandfather, well, yeah, his grandfather, it showed. And it was fitting that he took control of the youngest because he was the youngest of his own family. And besides all of that, he was also the one that, had the most innocence. Even though he had a little bit of a dark heart, he was the most innocent and would never do anything to harm his family. We are currently at 55 minutes, so about 5 minutes later, it will be officially an hour since I have started this live. Actually, what is the time right now, Dad, on the counter?
58 minutes counting. Almost an hour.
Right. So I'm going to go ahead and go to the bathroom for a second. I will be right back, everybody. And just like that, I am back. So, let's go ahead and get back into what I was saying about the abilities. So there's a spiritual aspect where characters can be possessed, and also there is fusion, and not fusion in the way that you think. So if two characters are dead, they can soul fuse and go into a body and possess it. One can take control of the body and, make it move, and the other one can, well, talk through the body, although their voices are fused together. And they can swap roles. Now, the body that they possess will grow to the means necessary. So let's say you have two characters that are two different heights. One's 50 meters and one is 100 meters. They will grow to 150 meters tall. Legendary is 30 meters, well, 130 meters, and his grandfather or great-grandfather was 50 meters. So therefore, their combined height would be around 183 meters or 88 meters. What do you think, Dad? 83, 88?
Sure.
Yeah, it was
I
88.
wasn't even listening.
It'd be 88 meters. I just had to think about that. So besides that, We also have soul possession, which I know that sounds weird how you can possess a soul, like how can you do that? But they did that with Kiryu or Dagon. They took two souls, fused them together, and used it to possess a metal husk and use it as a power core. They possess the soul instead of the soul possessing the machine. They use it as a core, which then Dagon was able to possess the machine and use its vocal cords mostly because it became its own body. So after that, we also have, well, the energy. There is light energy and dark energy. The dark energy is mostly to more darker kaijus such as death kaijus, and other kaijus like that. So there's death kaijus and Thalgolic kaijus. I know I'm using some words that 2001 said. Well, Goji2008. I love her series. I will do a review on that one day if y'all so deem it to be so. So now, going off of that, let's go ahead and get more into the bread and butter of this. Also, I started this live at 9:40 at 9:40, right? Honestly, I can't remember. I'll go ahead and get back from that. So, besides all that, we also have the magic of the Dark One. Whenever he died, his soul went straight to hell, and he became the devil of all monsters. Now, like I said, there is Death Kaiju and there are Thalgolic Kaijus. After that, in the light side, we have Soul Kaijus and Healing Kaijus, or Spirit Kaijus as well. Now, I know Soul Kaijus may sound similar to some stuff that Goji2008 has said. I don't know if she has done anything like that with her series, with her internet series, which I would like to see that if I ever get the chance to. Holy cow. Dad, I can see your thumb in the camera. Huh. Did you flip off the camera? Anyway, so going off of that, kaijus can come from hell to possess living and dead kaijus, like I said earlier, whether they can talk or not. Like I said, soul fusion has to happen for them to be able to speak, because it creates this kind of a skeletal structure. The only reason Dagon was able to do it is because not only did he have a soul fused with the Dark One, but as soon as the Dark One's soul left, the body was already basically alive to the point that he could just possess it and use it as his own body. Kind of like how Ultima was able to possess Leo in the beginning. So, yeah, that's pretty much it for that. For a size chart, we're going to go biggest to smallest. So we have Ultima right there, obviously. He's 300 meters. We have Shin, who is 200 meters. We have his brother, 1954. Then after that, we have... Oh, God. We have his great-grandson, his biological son, the corpse of Legendary. That's just brutal. Which I might have to back this up, so hang on a second. And then we have the uncle, which after him, we have Rodan. So that's all the characters so far. And now I'm going to place them in a new arrangement. So if any of y'all have any questions for those that join, go ahead and ask them. I only have one viewer, which is myself on this Chromebook that I am reading off of. So yeah, anyone who joins later on, any questions, go ahead and ask. Doesn't look like I have any questions so far. That is sad. Lonely, I'm so lonely. I have nobody all on my own. Alright, so so let's go ahead and talk about my big boy right here. Of course his tail would fall off. So let's go ahead and talk about this big boy right here, Godzilla, God Incarnate, or Gojira, God Incarnate. So I'm going to place him to the side right here. As you can see, he is a big boy, but he is actually only 33 meters tall. I know, it's weird. So allow me to explain that. He was, in his youth, he was around only 20 feet tall. Actually, no, about 18 feet tall and 20-something feet, well, 30-something feet whenever he was in his, on, like, upright. So, whenever he got irradiated, he grew substantially to this height. And the reason why he's so thick and elongated is because his legs had to grow and expand outwards for him to be able to walk normally. His arms were already big, so he had to, well, he gained bigger arms, so that made his body hunch over, and his neck shortened, and his snout just blew up a little bit, which is why he, has a bigger snout, and the reason why his face looks all messed up right here is because that's the part that took the most of the damage, because that was the part of his face that was scarred before he got bombed. So previous scarring mixed with that, the wind blowing on it, sharp glass, sticks, stones, everything, just kind of tore up that side of his body. It also broke his arm. And if you notice, him and Leo share similar burns, except one's a little bit more messed up. The only reason I kept this look is because I felt like it looked good to have a Godzilla that was constantly scarred. Now, this follows the original timeline of the 1954 Godzilla, mixed in with a little bit of, well, the -1 Godzilla. I'll elaborate on that later. But just know that this guy is one of the most powerful Godzillas I have ever made, besides Ultima and others. Although he is small, he still has a very, very strong atomic breath, actually flowing a little bit like projectile vomit. That sounds pretty disgusting, doesn't it? So, besides that, his atomic breath really sticks to the name. It is radioactive. So, it sticks to surfaces and then basically it's like water dripping onto a hot pan, a sizzle and then nothing. So it'll stay there as vapors in a way. And it's weird how it does that. But it does it like that because it's like projectile vomit. It'll stay there and kind of just either soak into the ground and you'll see pieces of it and it just doesn't look good. Or if it's like water, it'll just seep in entirely. Now, as for his other abilities, he can use his hands, but it hurts him. He can bite down on buildings, but it kind of tears up his teeth and tears up his mouth. As you'll see later on in the series, his mouth will widen because of that, because he still has healing bones. They constantly break because they are brittle. His skull is so messed up that it just sucks for him. His tail is more of a fan shape, kind of like a crocodile's, which allows him to smack buildings instead of cutting them in half with his tail. So he'll topple over buildings with his tail, cut power lines with it, and overall, he'll also use his dorsal plates a lot too. As for electrical lines, they really don't do anything to him. The only thing it does is really piss him off. Especially if they hit his scars. Ooh, that hurts. So besides all that, he is more hunched over than regular Godzillas, which attributes to his short height. If he was standing upright instead of constantly hunched over, he'd probably be around 40 to 50 meters tall, the same height as the original Godzilla. So the reason why I had him so short is because it grounds him more in reality. You're not going to have a giant 50-meter monster destroy cities. No. Instead, I had him 30 meters or 100 feet tall, which is more in line with theropod. Well, not theropods. More aligned with, well, dinosaurs such as Brachiosaurus, but he is not a four-legged animal. He is bigger and he is in constant state of pain. He shouldn't be able to stand up, but he does. He is constantly hunched over, which is putting a lot of stress on his spine. Which is why this dorsal plate right here is a whole lot bigger than it really should be. It should be a little bit smaller. And as you can see, his dorsal plates are growing out and jutting to the sides. The one that's in the middle is straight, but the ones on the side are going further out, making a little bit of an interesting pattern. Now, he does have ears, and that's actually a mutation. He has an ear on the side of his face. And the only reason he has that is because his body mutated and, it fucked him up. I'm not even going to hold you on that. It messed this man up. Now, as for the story, I'll just say this. my character, who is going to be named Mitch, one of my friends, who is going to be named Ishiro Zerazawa, and one of my other friends, who I am still in the process of naming, are going to be in this series, and my dad is actually going to be in this series as a captain. Which, fun story about him, he actually worked on a tugboat, so this is going to be a little bit more authentic, isn't it, Dad? He's nodding his head, by the way, guys. If you want to join, Dad, you can come over here, but I do suggest wearing a shirt, but I know you are dead tired. Right. So, as for the abilities, I just explained them all, but I did have his pre-irradiated state at one point, but I used it for scrap clay, so yeah, it's kind of what happens. I know it sucks. So, I guess while I'm offset of Death of the Dominion, I will place the characters in a line, like how I did earlier. Have them intersynced with one another. Biggest to smallest. I don't know if this is going to work with Ultima's fat ass, but let's see if I can make it work. And that actually works very well. So I guess I'll go ahead and get into other stuff. What really is there to speak on? Not really much, is there? I am working on another series on my sister channel, The Four Realms, but I am going to be renaming the channel back to the Kaiju Quartet. To me, The Four Realms was alright, but it didn't really work out for me. So, I also am open for suggestions now. As I am making the series of Death of the Dominion and Godzilla God Incarnate and the Kaiju Quartet series on my sister channel, The Four Realms, which is going to be renamed to the Kaiju Quartet, I want everyone's opinion on what series they want me to do next. A what if series? Who knows? I am open for suggestions, and I am open for different series. If y'all want me to do something non-Godzilla related, if y'all want me to do something horror related other than Godzilla, let me know in the comments. Let me know right now if y'all decide to join. I will put that in the comments right now. So let me just pull this Chromebook right over here. Did I spell series right, Dad?
Where am I looking?
Because I see there's a red line underneath it.
Evidently not.
I think there's an A. And there we go. So, like I said, if y'all want me to do a series not related to Godzilla, let me know in the comments, or let me know on a poll if I decide to do one. So, that's really it for that. Oh god, I did not realize that his head fell off. So, with that being said, I guess that wraps it up for the Godzilla portion of this, and the Death of the Dominion and Gojira God Incarnate portion of this. So I guess I am free range for a Q&A, but unfortunately I cannot do a Q&A, as for there is no one here for me to do Q&A for. So I'm going to go ahead and just, I don't know, get a random questions generator. So let me get a spin the wheel going on. Is there a way for me to do split screen? Split screen.
Split screen, huh?
Yeah, I know, right? So I'm going to fix up the setup right here. Place this computer right here. I don't know why I gained a sudden accent, so no, just explain that to somebody, please. And Funka. Is there a way for me to do split screen? Let's see here. Does not look like it. Okay, so spin the wheel. If you were stranded on an island, what one thing would you pick to have an unlimited supply of? Food. Actually, wait, no, not food. Ooh, that's actually a good one.
Water.
Water? I see what you mean by that. So, everybody in the comments that hears that, let me know if y'all would pick water as well. Spin the wheel again. Favorite song? Ooh. It would either have to be Hurt by Johnny Cash or it's a three-way tie between Hurt by Johnny Cash, Manhattan Project or The Manhattan Project by Rush, and Radio Gaga by Queen. Favorite color? I actually have two. It is black and red. Love it too, Bo.
Night.
That was something. Okay. Favorite time of day? Ooh. Well, you see, if I wake up in the morning, I get my stuff done, but my dad knows this about me. I am actually preferably a night owl. What's your favorite time of day, Dad?
Lunchtime.
Hmm. Favorite animal? It's a tie between a wolf and actually it's a three-way tie between wolf, Komodo dragon, and lion. What's your favorite animals?
Dog, tiger, and I guess a gorilla.
It's actually really good.
No, horse. Sorry.
If your money was not, I think it's supposed to say, if your money was not an issue, what job would you want? Ooh. Ooh. That's a good one. Because really, if you think about it, you want a job you like, but one that also pays good. But in this case, it says if money was not an issue.
EOD.
EOD, what's that?
Explosive Ordnance Disposal.
That's a good one. I guess for me, I would either pick story writer, which they get a whole lot of money, or clay sculptor, or a paleontologist. Who knows? I'm also a dinosaur nerd, everybody. If you knew you were going to die tomorrow, what would you do today? Ooh, that's a good one. That's actually a really good one. Hang on. I'd probably make, well, I always make peace with God because, every day may be your last day. And I would probably go hang out with my friends one last time, hang out with my family, go on a whole family dinner, and, celebrate the time that I lived. What would you do, Ed?
Spend it with my family.
Favorite restaurant? Um, there's this place where we live called Kami, but it's also tied with this buffet that we have here called Buffetopia. It is both of them are really good, but only one of them has a certain type of ramen that me and my dad both like, and it's called Tenkatsu ramen. It is so good. So it either had to be Kami or Buffetopia. What's your opinion on that, Dad?
My
Favorite restaurant? Mm-hmm.
Old San Francisco Steakhouse.
Ooh. I had to visit that one day.
I don't know if it's still around.
It is where we go.
It have to be a special occasion because it's not cheap, and you have to make reservations.
Just landed on two that we already had. Favorite memory? Oh, it is?
Yeah. Matter of fact, it's open right now. It doesn't close till 2 o'clock in the morning.
Huh, nice. Favorite memory? Ooh. That's actually kind of deep.
Excuse me.
Oh, you're good. Favorite memory? I'm gonna ask you. I'm gonna have to ask you that one, Dad. What's your favorite memory?
Um,
Man, we have a lot of them. I guess I would have to say my favorite memory is y'all trying to find me in Cold Springs and I was asleep in a tree.
Yeah.
Yeah, good time. That was funny. Favorite day of the week, Friday. Probably the same for you, huh, Dad?
Yeah, I guess. Maybe.
Mostly because I don't have school after Friday. And I have a vacation. If you could go back in time to any time period, when and where would you go to and why? I'd probably go to the 70s, mostly because I feel like that's where I should have grown up. Where would you go, Dad?
I don't know.
That's a good one though. Describe yourself in 3 words. I think you're gonna have to do that, Dad. How would you describe me in 3 words?
3 words.
Yes.
Fucking jackass.
But in all seriousness, though, I feel like the 3 words that describe me best are, I guess, kind, humble,
Yeah.
and caring.
Yeah.
As for you, Dad, what 3 words do you think describe you?
I do.
Hmm. When people look back on your life, how do you want to be remembered? Wow. Wow. That one's. That's really. Wow. How do I want to be remembered? I want to be remembered for being there for people in times of need. Because besides this persona that I have, I'm actually a genuine person. I don't sugarcoat anything. That's one thing I want a lot of y'all to know. If something is going on, I will not sugarcoat anything. I will let anyone know if something's going on, whether it's with me or with someone else that I care about really well. I won't go into explicit detail and say everything that's going on, but I will let y'all know, hey, something's going on, so I'm not going to be here. Don't expect me to be here for a while up until this stuff clears off. Um, so I also want to be remembered as well a kind of funny guy that was there, not only just there for people, but also understood people. Because I'm a people person through and through. I try to make jokes for people that are not feeling good. And some of them laugh, and some of them are like, okay, I don't really want to joke around right now. And that's whenever I get serious and I talk to them. So that's really how I want to be remembered, as that person that was there to help. A person who was that shoulder, to be more precise. Have you ever saved anyone's life or possibly saved their life?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
You want to go into it or no?
Rescued 2 children and a mother from drowning.
Yeah, I forgot you were
Swiftwater rescue.
yeah. There's some lore about my dad for y'all guys, so yeah, have I saved anyone's life?
Yes.
Mom.
And your grandfather.
Uh,
Because of you, he decided to fight cancer.
oh yeah. Wow. And just so y'all know, my whole entire family is lore. And that question got deep. And here's a normal question. Favorite TV show? That's a good one. If we're going really far back, I guess my favorite TV show whenever I was growing up would probably be Little Einsteins, and you just move the camera just a bit.
My bad.
You're good. What was your favorite TV show, Dad? I remember every day whenever we woke up before school, I'd have a bowl of cereal and we watched Little Einsteins in the living room. Back then, we had one of those box TVs, which those were good back then. I miss those. Anyways, don't really have a favorite TV show.
Can't really pick one.
I mean, an anime could be considered a TV show, so
Yeah, but I still just can't really pick one.
Vampire Hunter D, that was a good one. Which I need to watch that one again, me and you both. I don't have that anime app anymore because it got shut down, so I'm gonna have to either find another one or, get Crunchyroll. But that costs a pretty penny. What is one thing on your bucket list? Ooh. We're getting a handful of good questions and a handful of really good questions, you know? One thing on my bucket list. Um, can you answer that one, Dad?
Bucket list?
Yes, sir. I want to. Okay, there's a few things on my bucket list, but I think one thing I really want to get knocked off my bucket list is, well, go to Scotland.
Yeah.
I think that's the one thing I like. If I couldn't do anything else, that's the one thing I would do. What do you think?
Yeah.
Same thing? All right. Next question. Same again. A lot of the same questions. I don't think we've answered this one. Favorite movie?
Oppenheimer so far.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. It's either Oppenheimer or Godzilla -1 for me. Well, that's the thing. Godzilla Minus One is a good movie, but Oppenheimer is more than just a movie. It is an experience. I'll go more in depth with a review, which I know I am like, hang on. Oppenheimer came out 2 years ago, almost 3 years ago. Good Lord. But yeah, I know I'm like 2 to 3 years late, but I'll still do a review on the movie. What is your favorite superhero? Ooh. It would either have to be Thor or Iron Man for me. What do you think, Dad?
Yeah, I don't know. Watch this.
Oh, that's a dirt track on a sprint car.
Yeah, it's David Gravel.
Hmm?
It's David Gravel doing qualifying laps.
Ooh. Yeah, that's exactly my strategy whenever we play our game. Stay on the outside line, then go to the inside line whenever going through the turns.
Looking pretty good, huh?
Oh yeah. He's going going through those laps like nothing. Next question. How many siblings do you have? I have a total of 2 siblings. I would say 3, but one of them is not related to me at all. But 2 of them are. How many siblings do you have, Dad? Just the one. My aunt. Would you? Next question. Ooh.
Keep your voice down.
Ooh, sorry. All right. Do you have a hunch on how you're going to die? What is it? Wow. I don't really have a hunch on how I'm going to die. I've really made peace with the fact that I'm going to die, whether enter the fart jokes, everybody, please. For God, make fart jokes. But yeah, I've made peace with like I'm going to die, and eventually it's going to be a certain way. But other than that, that's really it. Do you have a hunch on how you're going to die, Dad? Okay. Already answered that one. Favorite smell? Ooh. Okay, I know Christmas really isn't a smell, but that's my favorite kind of smell. Like whenever you walk out and you just smell that smell of pine and the cold, like thick, cold air, like it just has a very distinct smell to it. What's your favorite smell, Dad?
Gunpowder. Actually, no. Racing fuel.
Racing fuel? I think I know why. Already answered that one. Do you have any pets? Yes, we have 3 dogs and 9 cats. And it sucks, as you can see. We had like a plethora of cats. Ooh, favorite flower. Spider lily. That's my favorite flower. What's yours, Dad?
Um, Plumeria.
Plumeria?
Yes.
Specific reason?
Because they're gorgeous.
Hmm.
You ever seen one?
I don't think I have. Okay, I have them. Wow, they are beautiful.
That's over at Uncle Jerry's.
Oh, these are filled with
They're native to Hawaii.
native to Hawaii.
That's what they make the leis out of that they put around
Oh,
your neck.
yeah. Who do you look up the most? What was that?
I don't know.
We'll be right back, guys.
Yeah.
Which, how are you enjoying the live so far, guys?
I've really just been sitting here listening.
Well, I mean, you've been participating too. I'll get my charger. See if I can stretch out. Yeah, here. I'm also thinking about taking a thumbnail for whatever meeting lives there. Which I'll start thinking about doing lives there for us. Whatever you think. Look what you did. Alright, everybody. I have room for only 5 more questions because my phone is about to die. So, okay. So, who do I look up the most? Most likely Godzilla, mostly because I do a lot of research on him, but also do research on other stuff like mythological beings such as lichens, werewolves, other stuff like that. Least favorite chore? Washing the dishes. Specific reason for that because I do it almost every day. Okay. I already answered that one just now. Also answered that one. The T is favorite book. Favorite book. That one would have to be TVHK or Toilet Ban Hanako-kun or Dragon Ball. I know some people say manga and books are two different things. They both have panels. Favorite sport? Boxing, mostly because it is fun in my opinion. I have done a little bit of boxing, just not that much, not professionally. How did you meet your best friend? Actually, I have 3 best friends who may or may not pop up on a live one day. Um, I met one of them because me and him shared a class. Another one I met because we both loved Dragon Ball Z, and the other one I met in a class and I got him kind of out of his shell. So now I have 2 more questions. Already answered that one. Would you rather go skydiving or scuba diving? Why? I'd rather go scuba diving mostly because I'm terrified of heights, and um, To me, scuba diving would be a whole lot better. I know there's dangers in the water, but there's also dangers in the sky. That I'm just more comfortable with scuba diving. It probably take me a while to warm up to do scuba diving, but that's mostly because I don't like deep water where I can't see anything. For our last question, what is it going to be? Plethora of things that we've already answered. My dad is not here with us right now. He went to go to sleep because it is late. No way I've answered every question on here. I'm literally spinning the same questions. Well, literally a whole plethora of questions I've already answered. So this is going to take a minute, everybody. Come on, give me an actual one, please. I've already... If you could go anywhere in the world without worrying about cost, where would you go and why? Okay, either Scotland or Japan. Japan mostly because I love the setting there in Japan. I just love how it looks. Just all out beautiful place. And I would either go to Scotland because I love that place as well. It is kind of grounded in my culture. I am part Scottish. And yeah, that about wraps it up. This live has been 118 minutes long. I hope all of y'all enjoyed. If y'all did, please let me know in the comments. Please let me know later on in the live if y'all want me to do another one like this where I do Q&A or I do a whole entire podcast with my dad where we talk about events, which I will label as Let's Be Honest. That will be the name of the podcast. And I will let y'all know in the future my future plans for the series. And I'll let y'all know if I have any other series that I want to do. So, I enjoyed this with y'all, and I hope all of y'all have a good day and a good night. See y'all in the next one.